Adam Shaw with Office of Public Defender.
Daniel Brisbane with the State Attorney's Office.
Brisbane?
Brisbane, yes, ma'am.
Brisbane, okay.
It's
I
all
want to
good.
make sure I have your name.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Person, I'd like to present this affidavit of truth to the courts.
Okay, can you tell me your name, please?
Divine man of God.
Is he identified on his badge as Travis Moody?
Judge,
Okay,
if
all
it may
right.
please the court.
All right, Mr. Moody, after I finish your notice of, your initial appearance, you can address the court, okay? In 2019 CF 157447AO, you were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was previously found for robbery with a firearm. And do we have a PD form for him? Okay, and so, sir, do you plan on hiring your own attorney?
I'm forbidden to participate in Roman customs.
Okay, well, we operate by the U.S. Constitution in this courtroom, so we don't operate by Roman law. So you're free to represent yourself or hire your own attorney, or if you'd like the assistance of the public defender, I'm happy to see if you'll qualify for their services.
I don't think I understand.
Okay, well, if you don't understand, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office. Mr. Scholl, if you'd like to just explain to him very briefly what this proceeding is about.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't understand before.
All right, Mr. Brisbane, this is a punishable by life felony. If the state would like to be heard as to bond and proof evident, presumption, great.
And, Your Honor, before the state speaks, I do just want to put for the record, he did have a private attorney for the 2016, it's 2016 CF case, like the 015755. I know it's 2016.
I don't have any other case in
Okay.
front of me.
I just wanted to bring that attention, that he did have a private attorney for that. I do know he's not represented for this case, so.
Yeah, I don't have any other information. Is he out on bond or?
He's here on other charges, this is an add-on. In one of his cases, he has Gregory Williams.
Okay, that's regional counsel.
Okay.
Okay, it's not, yeah.
Yes,
It's
I just
regional
wondered.
conflict counsel. So my guess is the public defender's office conflicted off of that case.
Off that case.
So I'm appointing you to represent him. For purposes of bond, Mr. Brisbane, do you wish to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. Can you give me one moment, please, Your Honor?
Judge, you did say you would take the affidavit of truth.
You can give that to your attorney, and he can provide that to the court as well as show it to the state before providing it to the court.
Excuse me, Judge, I am the attorney in fact.
Are you licensed by the state of Florida?
For the divine man does not participate in licensing.
Okay, well, I operate under the Florida bar rules, and if you're not licensed to practice in the state of Florida, you're not licensed to practice in my courtroom. So, Mr. Brisbane, would you like to be heard as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would be requesting no bond, and on account of the victim positively identified the defendant and gave us that there is. Given that the defendant was arrested on another charge later, the state requests that to ensure the safety of the community and the victim, the state requests that no bond be given.
Okay, are you gonna resuscitate any facts that would show that proof is evident and presumption is great? For me to make a finding that holding him no bond is appropriate?
The state would like to have Your Honor make a finding that proof of no bond is appropriate.
Okay, and so what are you asking me to look at?
The affidavit to issue the warrant, facts listed in the affidavit to issue the warrant.
Okay, what would those facts be that would show me that proof is evident and presumption is great?
That on August 17, 2019, the victim got into the vehicle of the defendant and was then held up at gunpoint to hand over everything she has to the defendant, and to which the victim gave $40 and on her person and exited the vehicle, and then she notified law enforcement officers. The law enforcement officer later found the defendant 3 days later on as he was arrested for a narcotics charge, and the victim then came in for a lineup and positively ID'd the defendant as the one who robbed her on the day in question, incident in question.
Okay. Mr. Scholl?
Yes, Your Honor. Looking at the four corners of the warrant, Your Honor, 2 points. There's no independent witness, and there's no physical evidence, i.e. the weapon that was allegedly used by the female that was in the car. So, i.e. the alleged victim is saying that my client passed the weapon on to an individual that the alleged victim cannot identify. So at this point in time, the only information in there leading to my client is her statement. So at this point in time, I don't believe the facts in the warrant will rise to a level of proof evident presumption great. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, based on the affidavit, I don't find proof evident presumption great. There's just not a lot there linking other than the identification, which does not rise above the level of proof, over proof beyond a reasonable doubt. And so I am going to order that Mr. Moody, you're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition. If you have any firearms, if you're released from the Orange County Jail, you must surrender them to law enforcement within 12 hours of your release from the Orange County Jail. You're not to return to where these offenses alleged to have occurred. I believe that is 5643 East Colonial Drive. And your bond will be set at $75,000.
Can you explain what's going on? Give me the affidavit and all the information on this case, charge information.
All right, thank you, Mr. Moody. If you have any questions, you can call the number on that form that he's going to give you. All right, please tell me your name, ma'am.
Selena Perez.
All right, Ms. Perez.
Slash
you're-
Vasquez.
Okay, Ms. Perez Vasquez, you're here in 2019 CF 19360. You were arrested pursuant to a KPS for failing to appear for your pretrial conference on October 1st, 2019. The judge in your case did revoke your release and set your bond at none. Does she have the public defender? Okay, you do have the public defender. They'll be the ones that'll have to file any motions to set bond for you in the trial division.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Destiny Powell refused, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Powell's refusing to come to court. I find that to be a waiver. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent her in 2019 MM 727AA. Mr. Scholl, do you want to formally waive her appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So she's not to return back to the racetrack at 700 South Orange Blossom Trail or have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. Her bonds will stay set at 100 and 500.
Whatever Riker is behavior.
Okay. Ms. Rybert is not behaving herself in conforming with being able to come to court today. I'm going to find that to be a waiver. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent her And so, Mr. Scholl, do you want to formally waive her appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
2019 MM 9189AO. She's not to return back to 5403 International Drive, the Peter Glenn Ski, in the Orlando Crossings Plaza. She's not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case, and her bond will stay set at 500. All right, good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Royal Cambio.
Mr. Cambio, you're here in 2019 CF 14815. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for fleeing and attempting to elude a law enforcement officer with lights and siren activated. And I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in that case. In that case, your bond will be set at $10,000. In 2019 CF 15688, you're arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for operating a chop shop, grand theft, third degree of a motor vehicle, dealing in stolen property as initiating. And I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in that case. You're not to return back to the scene of where the offense is alleged to have occurred. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. And I'll stay the bond on count 1. Count 2, I'm setting at 2,500, and count 3 will be set at 1,000. I've been so used to the thing. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Jason Densberger.
All right, Mr. Densberger, you're here in 2019 CF 15760AO. You're arrested for grand theft, third degree of a motor vehicle, fleeing and attempting to elude a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens activated, resisting an officer without violence, and grand theft, third degree. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in your case. You're not to return back to the victim's residence at 911 North Orange Avenue, Uptown Place Apartments. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. Your bond will stay set at $150 on count 1, $7,500 on count 2, $100 on count 3, and count 4 will be $2,500. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Cornelius.
Okay, Mr. Cornelius, you're here in 2019
Yes, Judge
MM
Wish.
9177AO, okay? And you're arrested for trespass on property after
Can I
warning.
get time served?
Let me finish. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Okay, I know, but I have to be able to finish my job in order for you to be able to get an offer. If you can't be quiet, we're gonna remove you from the courtroom. And you won't resolve your case today. So you're charged with trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Mr. Brisbane, was there an offer for Mr. Cornelius?
Not at this time, Your Honor, no.
Okay, is there a reason that there's no offer?
Just given the defendant's history, past criminal history. the
Okay,
state
so
doesn't
you
have-
can't make an offer based on his criminal history?
Not at this time, Your Honor, no.
Okay. Mr. Cornelius, do you want to plead to the bench?
Plead guilty, no contest.
Okay, I don't
Plead
promise
guilty.
anybody anything, okay?
You must not do anything less than
Well, if
city
you-
ordinance.
If you don't
Little
want to
less than
plead,
that,
if you
less
don't
than-
want to plead to the bench, you don't have to, but the state's not making you an offer today, and I don't negotiate, so if you want to plead to the
Yeah.
bench,
Yes, yeah, they're not really being hard nosed, Judge.
You're pleading guilty, okay? And
Yes,
she's gonna determine your sentence, okay?
Yes, sir.
The judge is gonna determine your sentence. Are you-
Yes, sir. Time
Okay.
served.
Well,
guilty for time served or no contest.
He plead guilty.
That's how she speaks backwards.
I'm just explaining. That's what you're telling me to the judge. The judge can determine how many days are served. Okay? You're fine with that.
Yes, 2 or 3 days.
Well, she's gonna decide. She hasn't told you how many days.
They just give you 2 or 3 days time served credit.
It's gonna be her decision.
I don't want to stay here too. I don't need to stay here. I will go see
So do you want
us.
to go forward with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Cornelius, I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? First, I need to tell you, you cannot go back to 2701 East Colonial Drive,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? You've been trespassed from there,
But the
you've been
McDonald's
previously
said-
warned. If you go back, I'll probably see you again, or
Yes, ma'am.
somebody else. All right, and there's no promises here. Mr. Cornelius, is this your signature at the bottom of the plea form?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything that was contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen,
I
the
just
plea-
got released.
Let me
ma'am.
finish my
About 2
question.
days ago, yeah.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea
Yes.
will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you
Yes,
understand?
ma'am.
Okay. All right, I do find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to, is it 2 days? 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served.
ma'am.
You
Time
may
served.
not go back.
I'm not going back
To
to
that
McDonald's.
address,
I was just playing McDonald's.
2701.
I know it was crying.
All right,
On
I
the
don't
other way
want to see you
to,
again. If I see you again,
Yeah.
it's not going to be
Lake
time
City.
served.
I won't go that far. Like
Even if the state
It's
offers
stolen.
you that, I'm not going to give you time served.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Absolutely. All right, all right.
All
Thank you,
right.
Judge.
All right,
Judge
have a
Klein.
good day. Good
Yes,
luck.
Be
ma'am.
safe out there. Be safe.
Yeah. Can I get my paper?
No, you're just following up.
Hey, have a good day.
You too. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Davis Stanley, ma'am.
All right, is your last
I
name
said-
Davis?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, Mr. Davis, you're here in case number 2019 MM 9173AO. You're arrested for petty theft. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I don't know if the state will have an offer for you today.
State does have an offer.
You do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
I'll be adjudicated guilty, 5 days Orange County Jail with credit time served.
okay. So the state's offering you an adjudication of guilt, 5 days in the Orange County Jail. My guess is you have 2 days credit for time served, and court costs.
Your Honor, my sheet shows that he's currently out on ROR for petty theft.
Correct.
Yes. So I need to speak to my client, Your Honor.
Okay, and I'm
Correct. He's already out on
looking at
R.
his history, and he has multiple petty thefts.
Oh, he does?
Well, what do
Okay.
you suspect that?
He has multiple
Goes
theft
on for-
convictions. His last conviction was in June, but my guess is that this one could possibly, and the one he's out on release for, could
Correct.
possibly become a felony.
Yes.
But
Yeah. Your Honor, at this point in time, we appreciate the state's offer, but we're not going to, my client's not going to accept it, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Davis, you may not return back to the target at 120 West Grant Street or have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. Your bond will be set at $500, and I'm also revoking your release in 2019 MM 885AW. You're out on bond, or out on release, excuse me, for petty theft and resisting an officer without violence. See, I think the PD represents him in that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Levon Sheffield.
Mr. Sheffield, you're here in 2019. Oh, it's an Osceola added, or probation, violation of probation on view. So they're filing an on view violation of probation based on your new law offense that is alleged to have occurred on November 8th of 2019 for battery. And so there's probable cause for the on view violation of probation. Your bond will be stayed at none at this time. Does he has an Orange County, it's the Orange County case, okay. All right, good morning, can you tell me your name, please?
Jeremy Allen.
Mr. Allen, you're here in 2018 CF 9337AO. You're arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear for pretrial conference on November 20th, 2018, and the judge did revoke your bond and set your bond at none. Does he have the public defender? You do have the public defender. They're going to be the ones that are going to have to file a motion for you in the trial division.
Jeremy Allen. I may have actually been able to get a hold of him. I know what it is, but getting a hold of you guys is like my mom rolling over in her grave. It's useless. You guys are useless.
Have a good day.
All right, good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Nicholas Andrews.
Mr. Andrews, you're here in 2018 CF 9961AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant for a violation of pretrial release. The judge did set your bond at none. In the same case, you were arrested also pursuant to a capias for failing to appear for case management conference on November 5th, 2018, and the judge did revoke your release and set your bond at none. Okay, so the PD was previously appointed, and they'll be the ones that'll have to file any motions to set bond for you in the trial division.
All right.
Mr. Boyd, refuse, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna find Mr. Boyd's refusal as a waiver, 2019 CF 15744AO. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent him. And Mr. Scholl, do you want to formally waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Boyd's charged with grand theft, third degree of a motor vehicle. I do find probable cause. I did appoint the public defender. He's not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. And his bond will remain set at $1,000. All right, good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Sure, bro.
All right, Mr. Brown, you're here in 2019 CF 15737AO. You're arrested for possession of a controlled substance. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You can't possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Your bond will remain set at $1,000. I'm not going to take any action on your out on release case. Need to make sure you keep in touch with your attorney and don't miss any court dates on that, okay? Good morning. Please tell me your name, sir.
Abelardo Carvajal, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Carvajal, you're here in 2008 CF 623. You're arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear for your trial on August 7th, 2008. It's an old case. And does he previously have the public defender appointed? Okay, so the judge did set your bond at none. I can't change that today. So the PD's office was previously appointed to represent you. They're going to have to file a motion to set bond in the trial division, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Morning, sir. Can you please tell me your name?
Josue Julian Figueroa Diaz.
All right, Mr. Figueroa Diaz, you're here in 2019 CF 15234AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant, which probable cause was found for home invasion robbery. And I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. And Mr. Brisbane, this is a punishable by life felony. If the state wants to be heard as to bond,
No, not, Your Honor, not this time.
are you not asking the court to make any findings? I don't
The state
understand.
would instead want a bond to be imposed, but we're not requesting no bond.
You're not requesting no bond?
Yeah, we're not requesting.
Okay. Do you want to make a suggestion or be heard as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
The state requests that the bond be set at $75,000, given the
Okay.
nature of the charges and that there's a child involved, a disabled child, and the fact that there's a home invasion robbery, and
Okay. All right.
that is what.
All right. So, Mr. Figueroa Diaz, your conditions of release are going to be as follows. You're not to return back to the victim's residence as listed in the affidavit. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances or any alcohol without a valid prescription. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness or any co-defendant.
Your Honor, if I may, just one moment on bond.
Sure?
On taking the facts of the case, I would just want to jump right to his criminal history. His criminal history is 0 felonies, 0 misdemeanors, 0 failures to appear. And also, too, I think the facts of the case, if we look at the facts of the case, I know we're not talking about presumption, proof evident, presumption, great. But I do believe taking consideration the facts of the case where both of the alleged victims did not identify my client in the photo lineup, and my client did not make any statements to the police, I believe at this point in time that bond should be set in the amount of $25,000, Your Honor, with the conditions that have been stated by you, Your Honor.
Well, his fingerprints were found on the delivery box that were located in the home.
Correct. They were found on the box that was used by the other individual that were there.
And I think the co-defendant implicated him, correct?
Well, correct, but the co-defendant is a defendant that was in jail at the time that the police spoke to.
I know.
But, you know, from our standpoint, the key is that he was not part of the photo lineup, which the alleged victims did find and did point out to the other co-defendant, if I may. And then also, too, is my client did not speak to the police and did not say any arguments. So I know that bond is necessary in this matter, and I just believe that because of his criminal history, that $25,000 is appropriate amount.
I think $75,000 is appropriate. Probably would have found proof evident presumption great based on the evidence provided in the affidavit. So I am going to set the bond at $75,000. All of those same conditions that I indicated will apply to his conditions of release. Additionally, he's out on release in 2019, CF 10164AO. I am going to revoke that release or that bond and set that bond at none. Does he have the PD in that case? I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent him in that case.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just one moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
Just one moment. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your name.
Terrence Detavius Garrett.
All right, Mr. Garrett, you're here in 2019 CF 15763AO. You're arrested for petty theft, 2 prior convictions, and battery. Do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. You may not return back to 5269 International Drive, the Tommy Hilfiger store. You may
Yes,
not have
ma'am.
any contact with any listed victim, witness, or co-defendant. And you may not possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Your bond will be stayed at 1,000 on count 1, 100 on count 2. You're out on bond for 2 cases, one of which is a theft case. 2019 MM 994AW and 2019 CF 15289AO. I'm going to revoke the releases in those cases and set the bonds at none. And does he have the PD in those cases? It's saying NA here. Okay, you do have the public defender. They'll be able to file any motions for you on your behalf.
He's also active state probation, Your Honor.
Correct. So make sure you don't bond out.
But is there a 5-day hold on him? No, I don't see that.
No, he doesn't have that.
Okay. I don't have a VOP affidavit.
I was just
Yeah.
making your attention to his office.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Justin Samuel Goff.
All right, Mr. Goff, you're here in 2019 CF 15503AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for burglary of a structure, grand theft 3rd degree, and criminal mischief. And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. You may not return back to the victim's residence as stated in the affidavit, nor may you return to any pawn shop. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness. Specifically, you may not go back to the Premier Pawn Shop, but I'm ordering that you're not to return back to any pawn shop. That's at 5510 West Colonial Drive. And your bonds will stay set, as in the warrant, at 10,000, 1,000, and 1,000.
Your Honor, if I may, my client, previously when I spoke to him, and right now, he's saying to me that that's not, the individual in the warrant's not him, Your Honor.
It's not me. That's not me. My name is Justin Samuel Goff. You must be looking for Tacorian Collins.
Okay, well, the individual named in the warrant is his name, and they have identified him, I believe, by fingerprint, if I'm not mistaken, and video surveillance. So that's obviously a defense that he would be able to present if the state does file an information in the case.
The reason why,
I would be very careful what you say. Today is your initial appearance on the warrant. Probable cause was already found by a judge. I'm not going to revisit that issue. I believe the probable cause is there. If you have a defense, that's something that you'll want to present to your attorney. And if the state does file an information, then that's a defense that you can have a trial on.
Active state probation, but the warrants before he went on probation.
Where's my court date?
Oh, that number there.
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Jabura Harris.
Mr. Harris, you're here in 2019 CF 15011AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was previously found for 2 counts of grand theft 3rd degree. And I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. You're not to return back to where the offenses are alleged to have occurred. You're not to have any, and that's the 33 West Church Street, the Chillers Latitudes bar. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or any witness in the case. And you're not to possess or consume any alcohol or any illegal substances without a valid prescription. And your bonds will remain set at $2,500 on each count in that case. You're also here in 2019 CF 15743AO. You're arrested for possession of methamphetamine. Do you find probable cause for that offense? I'll appoint the public defender. You may not possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. The bond will stay set at $1,000. And they've also filed an on-view violation of probation out of Osceola County based on your new law offense. And there is probable cause for that based on the affidavit, and I don't believe that I can appoint the public defender in that case today, but the bond will be stayed at none.
I can't have no public defender. Oh, okay. All right, cool, yeah, but we were, all right, yeah. Appreciate it.
All right, good morning. Please tell me your name.
Delicia Hogan.
Ms. Hogan, you're here in 2018 CF 16679AO. You were arrested pursuant to a habeas for failing to appear for pretrial conference on October 1st, 2019. The judge did revoke your release and set your bond at none. Does she have the public defender? Okay, so you'll have to contact Mr. Cruz, and he can file any motions on your behalf in the trial division. Good morning. Can you please tell me your name, ma'am?
Angela Home.
Ms. Holm? You're here in 2019 CF 15776. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for forgery. And I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. You may not have any contact with any victim or witness or any possible co-defendant in your case. Your bond will stay set at $5,000 based on the date of offense as alleged in the warrant and the out on bond cases and the dates of offenses alleged in those cases. I'm not taking any action on the out on release cases. But Ms. Holm, if you come back now for anything, chances are your bonds will get revoked.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Justin Holm.
Mr. Holm, you're here in 2019 CF 8892AO, and the state did file an information in your case charging you with 3 counts of lewd or lascivious battery, and count 4 is lewd or lascivious molestation. And a judge did find probable cause and issued a habeas in your case. And I will appoint the, well, I don't have a, do we have a form for him? Mr. Holm? Justin? Did you fill out a form for the public defender?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll see if we can find it. Okay, we can't seem to find it. Does he have a?
He does not know.
Okay.
I thought this was it, but it's not it.
No. Okay, sir, do you work?
No, ma'am, I just came from DLC.
Okay, all right. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case, okay? And I believe that counts 1, 2, and 3, and 4 are all felonies of the second degree. So, so for purposes of your release, sir, you are not to have any contact with any victim or the victim's family or any possible co-defendant as named in all of the discovery. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or any illegal substances without a valid prescription. And you're not to have any contact with any minor under the age of 18. Your bond on count 1 will be $25,000. Your bond on count 2 will be $25,000. Your bond on count 3 will be $25,000, and your bond on count 4 will be $25,000. morning, ma'am. Please tell me your name.
Jasmine.
Is your last name
Jackson.
Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Jackson, you're here in 2019 CF 15094AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant for a violation of your pretrial release. And the judge in your case did set your bond at none. Does she have the public defender? You do have the public defender, so they'll have to file a motion to set bond for you in the case, okay? All right, good morning. Please tell me your name, sir.
Kevion Jefferson.
All right, Mr. Jefferson, you're here in 2019 CF 15685. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for attempted murder and 4 counts of shooting into an occupied dwelling. And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I believe count 1 is a punishable by life felony. Mr. Brisbane, did the state want to be heard as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is requesting no bond in this case. The state, in this case, the victim was 15 years old at the time, and he positively ID'd the defendant via Facebook page, which is then corroborated by an investigating officer. There's surveillance footage on the scene that captures the image of the defendant, and I believe that's all, Your Honor. And so the state requests that that Your Honor, to ensure the safety of the victim as well as the community, that the state and given the defendant's past juvenile history with an assault with a deadly weapon, the state asks that Your Honor, in your discretion, hold the defendant at no bond.
Are you asking me to find proof evident presumption?
Yes,
grade?
Your Honor. The state is asking you to find proof evident presumption create that you hold the defendant at no bond.
Mr. Scholl?
Defer to you in this matter, Your Honor.
So based on my review of the affidavit and the allegations as alleged in the affidavit, I do find proof evident presumption great. And I am going to hold Mr. Jefferson at no bond on count 1. Count 2 will be $10,000. 2,500 on count 3, 2,500 on count 4, and 2,500 on count 5. Mr. Jefferson, you're not to return to the scene of the offense. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or any illegal substances without a valid prescription. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness as alleged in the affidavit. And you're not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And you're also out on bond in 2019 CF 9389AO. I'm revoking that bond and setting the bond at none. You do have an attorney in that case, Mr. Jenkins, and he can file any motions to set bond in that case for you. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your name.
Stacy Jolly.
All right, Mr. Jolly, you're here in 2019 CF 11267. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle. And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. You may not return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred, the victim's residence, nor will you have any contact with any victim or witness in the case. Your bond will stay set at $3,500.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning. Please tell me your name, sir.
How you doing, man? My name is Rodney Jones.
I'm great. Thanks, Mr. Jones. How are you today?
I'm doing all right, man.
All right. You're here in 2019 CF 15755 AO. You're arrested for possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver and possession of cocaine. Do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You may not have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. Sorry, no victim, but there's witnesses. You may not have any contact with any witnesses. You may not possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. The bond will stay set at $15,000 on count one, $150 on count two. You're out on release for trafficking and some other drug charges in 2019 CF 8501AO. I'm going to revoke the bond and set that bond at none. You do have an attorney in that case, and they can file any motions to set bond for you.
Can I ask you what you said? I thought that case was dismissed. I sat 33 days and they dismissed that case.
No, you sat 33 days and were released ROR, and the state did file an information. You have pretrial conference coming up on December 11th.
December 11th, Your Honor?
So what do I have to do to get a bond on
You'll
that?
have
other-
to have your attorney in that case file a motion to set bond.
That's what I.
Good morning, sir. Please tell me your name.
Good morning, Devontae King.
Mr. King, you're here in 2019 CF 150010. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for robbery armed with a firearm and grand theft third degree. And I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Mr. Brisbane, count one is a punishable by life felony. Does the state wish to be heard as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is requesting no bond in this case. That on September 29, 2019, the defendant was caught on surveillance video committing the robbery with a firearm. The victim ID the defendant used via an Instagram post that was linked to his Instagram account. Later, the defendant sold the phone that was stolen from the victim at a store and provided his Florida driver's license and a fingerprint ID. And that is all, Your Honor. And so the state is requesting that you find proof evident presumption grade that to ensure the safety of the community and the victim and the witnesses involved, that the defendant be held on no bond.
Okay, so I'm not sure I didn't read that he was seen on video, unless I missed it, but I see he was seen on video surveillance at the Eco ATM. Okay, I wasn't sure if I missed something that he was seen on video surveillance committing the robbery. That's
I
what he
apologize,
said.
that's what I meant, Your
Okay,
Honor.
was that just a misstatement? Okay, all right. All right, Mr. Scholl.
Defer to you in this matter, Your Honor?
Okay, I do find proof evident presumption great based on the affidavit and the fact that he was in possession of the item that was stolen, and it was sold within 8 hours and 46 minutes after the robbery. And so I am going to hold him at no bond on count one. Mr. King, you're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness or any possible co-defendant. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or any illegal substances without a valid prescription, no weapons, no firearms, no ammunition. And you may not return back to the Eco ATM, and nor may you return back to the scene of where the offense is alleged to have occurred, as stated in the affidavit. And your bond on count two will be set at $5,000. Sorry about that. All right. Can you tell me your name, please?
Michael Lawrence.
All right. Mr. Lawrence, you're here in 2019 CF 15742AO. You're arrested for possession of fentanyl. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You may not possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. The bond will stay set at $1,000.
You can't ask her? Hey, ma'am, do you think that you can I could be R&R'd on this charge?
ROR?
Yeah, R&R,
I don't know.
RR.
ROR.
Yeah.
Released on your own recognizance.
Yeah.
Okay?
Because I don't have anywhere to go.
Okay,
You
well,
know what I'm saying?
based on your criminal history
I ain't been in total.
and your 3 failures to appear, you have extensive criminal history.
Where?
and
When?
You have 3 felony convictions, 35 misdemeanors, 3 failures to appear, and 36 unknown convictions. So I'm not comfortable releasing you on your own recognizance. Your attorneys,
I've
if
been
you can't
trying
make
to-
the bond, sir, your attorneys can file a motion to set bond or reduce your bond. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Valentino Rudolph, man.
Mr. Rudolph, you're here in 2019 CF 15745AO. You're arrested for petty theft and burglary of an occupied dwelling. You do find probable cause for the offenses, and I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You may not return back to 691 East Plant Street, Heritage on Plant Street subdivision, or have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. The bonds will stay set at $105,000. All right, good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Alice Suzanne Temple.
All right, Ms. Temple, you're here in 2019 CF 15753AO. You're arrested for possession of cocaine. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in your case. Can't possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. The bond will stay set at $1,000.
Thank you.
All right, please tell me your name.
Nathan Toller.
All right, Mr. Toller. Do we have a people? Okay. You're here in 19 CF 15756AO. You're arrested for grand theft 3rd degree. Do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You may not return back to any Lowe's department store. You may not have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. The bond will stay set at $2,500. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Bernard Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams, you're here in 2019 CF 15357. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for failing to update your driver's license or identification card as a sexual offender. And I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in your case. You do have reporting requirements. I do have to advise you of that. And your bond will be set at $5,000. Good morning. Please tell me your name, ma'am.
Dominique Williams.
All right, Ms. Williams, you're here in 2019 CF 5316AO. Oh, that's why. And in that case, you were arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear for a status hearing. I believe this is drug court. And that was on September 20th, 2019. And I believe Judge Whitehead revoked your release and set your bond at none. In 2007, does she have the PD in all these cases? Okay, you do have the public defender in all these cases, so they'll be able to file any motions for you, okay? 2017 CF 1776AO, you failed to appear for a drug court status hearing on September 20th, 2019. The judge set your bond at none. 2017 CF 1117AO, you failed to appear for a drug court status hearing on September 20th, 2019, and the judge set your bond on each count at none as well. And as I said, the PD does represent you in your cases, and they can file any motions for you on your behalf. All right, good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Courtney Mills.
All right, is Mr. Haddon not joining us today? Oh, he's in the hospital? Okay. We'll reset Mr. Haddon within 24 hours of his release from the hospital. All right, you said your name was last name was Mills?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Mills, you're here in 2019 MO 1838. You're arrested for disorderly conduct. I do find probable cause. And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Was Mr. Brisbane, does the state have an offer for Ms. Mills?
Yes, Your Honor, the state has an offer to be adjudicated guilty 4 days Orange County Jail with credit time served.
Your Honor, my client accepts the offer of adjudication guilty, 4 days Orange County Jail. Please no contest.
Okay. You can.
And-
Thank you. Get some exercise. All right, Ms. Mills, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything that was contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. I do find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 4 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. I do have to impose court costs. I'll order that you pay those by November 14, 2020. That gives you a year. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Good luck. Good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Good morning. My name is Wilgen Sherry.
All right, Mr. Sherry. You're here in a couple cases. 2019 MM 9178AO. You're arrested for false alarm of fire and petty theft. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender in all your cases, okay? And you're not to return back in all your cases, other than I think the last one, to I think it's the 2103 Americana Boulevard, but I'm trying to figure out where the offense is alleged to have occurred at, the specific address. Rose's Discount Store. You can't go back to Rose's Discount Store, okay, wherever that address may be, you can't go back there. And the bonds will stay set at 500 and 100. In 2019 MM 9181AO, I appointed the PD. You're charged with false alarm of fire and petty theft. You can't go back to Rose's Discount Store, and your bonds are stayed set at 500 and 100. And also, you can't have any contact with any listed victim or witness at this location. And 2019 MM 9182AO, you're charged with false alarm of fire and petty theft, and I do find probable cause. I did appoint the PD. Can't go back to Rose's Discount Store, have any contact with anyone there, and the bonds will stay at 500 and 100. 2019 MM 9183AO, you're charged with false alarm of fire and petty theft. I do find probable cause. Same conditions of release will apply, and I did appoint the PD. The bond will stay set at 500 and 100. 2019 MM 9184AO, you're charged with false alarm of fire and petty theft. I did appoint the PD. The same conditions will apply, and the bonds will stay set at 500 and 100. In 2019 MM 9185AO, you're charged with false alarm of fire and petty theft. Same conditions will apply, and I did appoint the PD. 500 and 100 will be your bond. 2019 MM 9186AO, you're charged with false alarm of fire and petty theft. I did appoint the PD. Same conditions will apply. Your bonds will stay set at 500 and 100. 2019 MM 9187AO, you're charged with petty theft. I do find probable cause. Same conditions will apply. I did appoint the PD, and your bond will stay set at 250. And in 2019 MM 9188AO, I don't find probable cause for the attempted destruction of evidence. Just simply discarding something on the ground is not destruction of evidence, so I don't find probable cause for count 1, and I'm gonna ROR you on count 2. I believe the state's not prosecuting the possessions of cannabis, but I do find probable cause for that offense. But I'm gonna ROR you, and I'll appoint the public defender. You can't possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. And then you're out on release. In 2019 MM 8802AO, I am gonna revoke that release and set the bond at none. In that case, does he have the PD? I see an attorney's name, I'm just not sure if that's a public defender. You do have the public defender. They'll be able to file any motions to set bond for you in that case. Right, but it's based on this arrest, and there's multiple cases. But it's all on the minutes, correct? To all those, yeah, no, okay, I'm gonna put all the case numbers on there at the end. So I'll do that at the end. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Paul Dion.
Mr. Dion, you're here in 2019 MM 9192AO. You're arrested for petty theft. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. You may not, well, I don't know, does the state have an offer for Mr.
Yes.
Dion? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, the state has an offer to be adjudicate guilty, credit time served, and no return to the scene.
Your Honor, may I speak to the state for one moment, Your Honor? Is that fine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So he appears to be on probation in Georgia because there's a VOP warrant. So we did notice that.
I just noticed it.
Okay, so
Thank you.
I don't know if, I don't know your situation in Georgia, Mr. Dion, but pleading to a new law offense while you're on probation is automatically gonna violate you, and I don't know what you're on probation for, or what you're,
What I see on the information is a traffic offense from what I see.
okay, but we don't know, it could be a DUI manslaughter. I mean, I don't know what it is, so, not saying it is, I'm just saying,
yes.
a traffic offense could be a serious offense. So, only you know what it is that you're facing in Georgia. You do have a violation of probation already pending in Georgia. So I don't know if you want to resolve the case today or not. If not, I'm just gonna stay the bond.
Your Honor, if I may, in the state of Florida, he has zero felonies, 0 misdemeanors, 0 failures to
Right,
appear.
are you saying pretrial diversion, he may qualify?
ROR or
Okay,
pretrial
not
diversion.
with a VOP warrant out of Georgia, I'm not gonna
Okay.
ROR him, okay?
Okay.
But, I don't even know if he would qualify for pretrial diversion based on his, with the city attorney's office, based on his history. I don't know what their qualifications are, I don't know, so. I mean, he might be able to tell you what he's on probation for. What traffic offense it might be, so. I don't know. Right, but I don't.
He already had violated, really.
Right, but they might if he has another new law, I don't know.
Your Honor, speaking to my client, he would like to accept the state's offer,
Okay.
which was modified to adjudication withheld.
Yeah,
Okay.
the state would like to modify it into a withhold adjudication, credit time served, and no return to the scene.
Okay, can I have you please raise your right hand to be sworn in, Mr. Dion?
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, and so you understand that you're on probation in Georgia, and knowing that, you still want to go forward with the plea?
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, and Mr. Dion, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Correct.
Did you understand everything that was contained within the plea form?
I do.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
I do.
Are you on probation anywhere?
In Georgia, I
Right,
can't.
okay. And
I
yet-
don't know why, though, Your Honor. I was never arrested or.
I don't know why either, so, but that's something that you might want to look into because they do have a warrant for you. They're not
I
going-
will look into it.
They've said they're not going to extradite, but I don't know if you get another new law, if that will affect anything.
I will
Okay.
definitely look into it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So knowing that you are on probation, as I said before, you still want to go forward with the plea
Please.
and resolve the case. And your understanding is it's a withhold of adjudication and credit for the 2 days that you've served, and that you may not return back to the Walmart at 2500 South Kirkman Road.
Correct.
Okay. All right, I do find a factual basis to accept your plea. I'll withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You may not return back to that Walmart at 2500 South Kirkman Road, And if you've been trespassed there, I believe you were, you have to abide by the trespass warning. Don't go
Correct.
back, probably get arrested, okay?
Yep.
I do have to impose court costs. I'll order that you pay those by November 14th, 2020, okay?
Okay.
If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Christopher Ricardo is mental health, Your Honor.
All right, we'll reset Mr. Mercado.
Johan Romero is also mental health.
All right, we'll reset Mr. Romero. All right, good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Joshua Williams.
Mr. Williams, you're here in 2019 MM 9179. You're arrested for trespass in a structure as a refusal to leave. I do find probable cause and I'll appoint, well, do I have a form for him? Mr. Williams? Okay, Mr. Williams, you didn't fill out a form for the PD? Do you want to see if the state, I don't know if the state will have an offer to resolve your case. Did you fill out a form?
No.
Okay. Do you want to see if the state has an offer?
I guess.
Yes, one moment, Your Honor, if the state may have a moment.
Sure. Hmm?
The state does have an offer, Your Honor.
Okay.
It would be adjudicated guilty, 5 days, Orange County Jail, and credit time served.
Okay. All right, so the state's offer is 5 days with credit for the 2 days that you've served, and you'll be adjudicated guilty. If you don't want to accept that offer, that's fine, you don't have to. Okay. I'll have you sign the plea form. Thank you. All right, Mr. Williams, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything that was contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Mm-hmm.
Are you on, is that a yes?
Yes.
All right. Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Okay. Deportation.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I do find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You may not go back to the Lynx bus station at 435 North Garland Avenue. Abide by any trespass warning, okay? Do have to impose court costs, and I'll order you pay those by November 14, 2020. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you, sir. Good luck.
You too.
Please tell me your name.
Gloria Wilson.
Okay, do we know what happened to Sari Delion? Okay, I'll hold on to that and give that to Judge Carter. All right, Ms. Wilson,
Yes, ma'am.
you're here on an Osceola County warrant, and the judge in that case did set your bond at $2,000. So if you're able to bond out, you can bond out. If not, Osceola County will have 24 hours to come and pick you up pursuant to our administrative order. And that does not include, I don't think that would affect you because tomorrow's Friday. Okay. And you have an out on release case. I'm not going to take any action on that today. I have no idea what happened in Osceola County, okay?
Public defender wasn't appointed for the out-of-county, correct?
No.
Jones refused, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Jones refused to come to court, 2019 CF 15710AO. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent him. And Mr. Scholl, do you want to formally waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and I believe he was arrested for attempted carjacking, petty theft, and resisting an officer without violence. The attempted carjacking is an F2. And he is not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. And he's not to return to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. I am setting his bond at $10,000 on count 1. Count 2 and 3 will remain set at $100 on each count. He's out on release in 2019 CF 11506AO, and he is represented by conflict counsel, I believe, in that case. I'm revoking the release in that case and setting the bond at none, and his attorneys can file any motions on his behalf in that case.
Joseph Williams also refused.
Nobody wants to come to see me today. All right, Mr. Williams refused to come to court. 2019 CF 15716AO. I believe this was reset from yesterday. And I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent him. And Mr. Scholl, do you want to formally waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, he's charged with battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting an officer without violence. Do find probable cause, and he's not to have any contact with any victim in the case. And he's not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition. His bond will remain set at $2,500. Count 2, I'll reduce to $100. And then we have an add-on. Can you tell me your name, please?
Gregory Palermo.
Right, Mr. Palermo, you're here in 2019 CF 15663AO. You're charged with possession of methamphetamine and possession of cannabis, less than 20 grams. Do find probable cause for both offenses, and I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You may not possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. The bond will stay set at $1,000 on count 1. I'll ROR you on count 2. And I'm not going to take any action on your out on release case. Keep in touch with Mr. Whedon. You have a court date coming up in January, I believe. So
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
miss that court date, okay? If
Yes,
you come
ma'am.
back again, chances are the bond might get revoked in both cases,
No, ma'am.
okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Sounds great. Thank you. Yeah, I always do. Thank you.
Did we address Mr. Sherry, or was that a reset? We are on the record. It is November 14th, 2019. This is Judge Wish, Courtroom 1, Session 2. Can I have the parties announce themselves for the record, please?
Adam Scholl, sorry. Adam Scholl with Office of Public Defender.
Ashley Wilson for the state.
What's your last name?
Wilson,
Wilson?
Wilson.
Nice to meet you, Miss
Nice
Wilson.
to meet you. I've heard wondrous things.
Oh, nice, thanks. Okay. Well, welcome to the jail. Have you been here all week?
No,
Oh,
today's
okay.
my first day.
Oh, okay, all right, well, welcome. All right, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Maurice Lamont Williams,
All
Jr.
right. Mr. Williams, you're hearing case number 2019 MO 1840AO. You're arrested for disorderly conduct. Do you find probable cause? I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. And Ms. Wilson, was there an offer for Mr. Williams?
Williams? He's a city and county. He's towards the end.
I did.
The state's offer would be 80 per time, sir.
Sorry?
The state's offer would be 80 credit time served.
Okay. Adjudication of guilt and credit for time served.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
would have to impose court costs.
Your Honor, he accepts and pleads no contest, adjudication, guilty, credit time served.
1 day? Okay. Thank you. All right, Mr. Williams, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am, it is, ma'am.
Okay. Did you understand everything that was contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
I'm not, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I do find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the Orange County Jail with credit for 1 day time served. I do have to impose court costs. I'll order that you pay those by November 14, 2020. That gives you a year, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I would do that, ma'am.
Okay. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, sir. Good luck.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Have a good day. All right, good afternoon, sir. Please tell me your name.
Allen, yeah, Allen.
All right, Mr. Allen. You're here in 2019 CF 11141AO, and you were arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear for your pretrial on November 5th, 2019. The judge did revoke your bond and set your bond at none. Does he have the PD? You do have the public defender in that case, and they can file any motions to set bond for you. I'm not going to take any action on your out on release case. Make sure that you keep in touch with your attorney and don't miss any coming court dates if you have any, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Michael Anderson.
All right, Mr. Anderson, you're here in 2019 CF 15772 AO. You were arrested for grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. You do qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to put you in pretrial release, sir. You need to make sure that you comply with the court order, okay? And keep in touch with your attorneys and comply with pretrial release, okay? If you violate any court order or you get rearrested for anything, your release can get revoked, okay?
Siobhan Ball, bonded.
Okay, we'll take no action on Ball. There's 2 cases,
Jeanette Perez, also bonded.
okay? Take no action on Ms. Perez. All right, good afternoon. Please tell me your name, sir.
Christopher Pletka.
All right, Mr. Pletka, you're here in case number 2019 CF 15768AO. You were arrested for possession of heroin and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause for those offenses, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. You can't possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. All right, and I'll state the bond at 1,000 on count 1, 100 on count 2. And you're also here in 2019 CT 8295AO. You're arrested for driving while license suspended. And I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You may not drive without a valid driver's license. The bond will stay set at $500. I'm not going to take any action today on your out on release cases, okay? Mr. Pletka, if you come back again, I know the state hasn't filed on that, but that doesn't make a difference to me, okay? So if you come back again and you're driving or any other offense, then it's likely that if I'm here, I'm going to revoke your bond, okay?
Thanks, sir.
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Coverage sales crew.
All right, Mr. Salesprud, you're here in 2019 CF 15769AO. You're arrested for grand theft. Do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You may not return back to the 7-Eleven at 8674 Maitland Summit Boulevard. You may not have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. Does he qualify? Were they able to interview him for PTR?
He was back in Sickwick at the time. He doesn't have a history on. If you just want to verify it, if you can his address down. We can do it
Okay,
like
if
that.
we
He
can
has
have
no
you write your
problems.
address down, sir.
Yeah. And his phone number, we could do that.
I want to see if you'll qualify for pretrial release and you would not have to post a bond, okay?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe his family is out in it.
The phone that I
Valerie,
got, it's a
they
new
able
number.
to,
I don't memorize it by
verify
heart
his
yet.
meeting times?
Okay.
Sorry, my handwriting's
Are you all related to Mr. Salesprud? Okay. Can one of you maybe come forward just so I can qualify him, see if we can qualify him for pretrial release? Here, let me, do I have to open the door or they got it? I can never find the button. Oh, they got it, okay. I don't know where the button is. Lift off. Good morning, ma'am, or good afternoon, ma'am.
How are we doing this afternoon?
Good, thank you. How are you?
All right.
Can you just raise your right hand for me to be sworn in?
Yeah.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and then can you tell me your name, ma'am?
Carmen Prude.
Okay, and are you related to Mr. Salesprud?
Yes, that's my son.
Okay, and does he live with you?
Yes, he does.
Okay, and all the time?
Yes.
Okay, and then can you verify your address for me?
2620 Herbertson Drive, Orlando, Florida, 32810.
Okay.
All right, Judge, we do PTR.
Okay, we're gonna place him in pretrial release. He won't have to post a bond. Needs to make sure that he complies with all those requirements. If he doesn't, that bond or that release can get revoked, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank
All right.
you.
All right, sir, so I'm gonna place you in pretrial release. Like I said, you may not return back to the 7-Eleven. You can't have any contact with anyone at that location, okay? Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, and then make sure you comply with all of the requirements of pretrial release.
Okay.
Your Honor, he has some possessions at the 7-Eleven.
Okay, I'll let him go back with law enforcement. You need to go, we'll put in the order, you'll have to go with law enforcement. My guess is that you're not working there anymore. My guess is you're not, so, and I don't know if they'll want you there, so if you must go with law enforcement, okay?
Would I be able to send somebody?
You'll just have to show law enforcement that order, and they'll go with you there. Don't go there without them, okay?
Okay.
All right. All right, good afternoon. Can you tell me your name, please?
Amanda Smith.
All right, Ms. Smith, you're here in 2019 CF 15767AO. You're arrested for possession of methamphetamine. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You can't go back to the hotel. You've been trespassed from there. That's the Allure Resort at 8368 Jamaican Court Unit. Well, just don't go back to that resort, okay? And you can't possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. And your bond will stay set at $1,000. I'm not gonna revoke your release today. However, if I see you again and you're here on anything, chances are your release will get revoked on the both your cases, okay?
Thank you.
Your Honor, she has belongings at the resort. Can she have a one-time return?
Did you get a trespass warning?
I think they were trespassing all of us.
Right, but did you get a piece of paper?
No.
Okay. I'll put in there she can go with law enforcement. It appears
Like
as
I
though
said, I
they...
had 60 days to pick it up.
So I'll let you go with law enforcement. We'll put that in the order. You can go one time, call them ahead of time. Don't go and then call law enforcement, okay? All right.
All right. Thank you very much. Oh, goodness.
Lisa Vera bonded, Your Honor.
All right, we'll take no action on Ms. Vera.
Can we pass by, Ms. Yule?
Sure.
Espinoza Zubiega, also bonded.
All right, we'll take no action.
Frazier bonded.
Take no action. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
John Hartsfield.
All right, Mr. Hartsfield, you're here in 2019 CT 8306AO. And in that case, you are arrested for no motor vehicle registration. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in that case. In 2019 MM 9199AO, you're arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause for that offense as well, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Does the state have an offer for Mr. Hartsfield on his cases?
No, the state does not have one.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna stay the bond at the 500 and 500 on each case. And Mr. Hartsfield, I'm not gonna take action on your out on bond or out on release case, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Or both, there's two of them. So the state has not made a charging decision in the case. I don't know if they will or not, but it's been since August in one and September in another. So they might charge those cases. You need to make sure that you keep in touch with your attorney so they know how to get in touch with you and you don't miss a court date, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
If you come back again, your bonds might get revoked.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, please tell me your name.
Patricia Marie Zarnicki.
Okay, Ms. Arnicki, you're here in 2019 MM 1029AW. You're arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia. Do find probable cause, and I don't have a form for the public defender. Did you want to see if the state had an offer for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The state has an offer of adjudication of guilt, 3 days, and court costs.
Okay, is it 1 day credit?
Yes.
Okay, so the offer's 3 days with credit for 1 day time served, and I would have to impose court costs. If you don't want to accept that offer today, that's fine. I would place you in pretrial release.
I'll accept it.
Okay. We'll have you sign the plea form.
Get out tomorrow.
We gotta go through the plea form, okay?
Same questions that
All right, Ms. Zarnacki, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your
Yes, ma'am.
signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea? Yes? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
I'm a U.S. citizen.
Okay, but
ma'am.
you understand that if you were not,
Yes.
it will subject you to deportation? Okay. I do find a factual basis based on the affidavit in the court file to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 1 day time served. I do have to impose court costs, and I'll order that you pay those by November 14, 2020. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, ma'am. Good luck.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right, good afternoon. Please tell me your name.
Charlonda Jackson.
All right, Ms. Jackson, you're here in 2019 MM 9201AO. You're arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia. Do you find probable cause? And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Was there an offer for Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor, it was adjudicated guilty 5 days. Court costs.
Ms. Jackson, do you want to plead to the bench? If you don't want to resolve your case today, I'd place you in pretrial release.
I plead to the bench.
Okay. And I don't make any promises, just so you understand that, okay? All right, Ms. Jackson, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you understand that I don't make any promises?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I do find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the Orange County Jail with credit for 1 day of time served. I do have to impose court costs. I'm going to order that you pay those by November 14, 2020, okay? If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Good luck, ma'am.
Carlos Martinez bonded, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll take no action on Mr. Martinez. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Stephen Lawrence, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Lawrence, you're here on an out-of-county warrant out of Pinellas County. The judge in that case did set your bond at none, and so Pinellas County will have 72 hours pursuant to our administrative order, not including weekends or holidays, to come and get you. So if they don't do so within that time frame, you'll come back before a judge. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Christopher Mills.
All right, Mr. Mills, you're here. You were picked up on an out-of-county warrant out of Osceola County, and the judge set your bond at none in the case. And so Osceola County has 24 hours pursuant to our administrative order to come and pick you up. If they don't do so within that time frame, you'll come back before a judge, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Patrick Swinton.
All right, Mr. Swinton, you're here on an out-of-county warrant out of Charlotte County, and the judge in the case in Charlotte County set your bond at none. And so Charlotte County will have 72 hours pursuant to our administrative order, not including weekends or holidays, to come and pick you up. If they don't do so within that time frame, you'll come back before a judge, okay? Good luck.
This is Miss Yuli.
Okay, thank you. All right, please tell me your name, ma'am.
Stephanie Yuli.
All right, Miss Hewley, you're here in 2019 CF 15773AO. You're arrested for grand theft of a motor vehicle, and health, safety, nuisance, injurious to health charge.
What is that?
And so I do find probable cause for that offense. And do we have a PD form? Did you fill out a form for the public defender?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's the whole form. Okay. All right, I'll see if. Okay, I'm gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. Can't have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. Would she qualify? I don't know if she was interviewed
Let's see, Judge.
or if she would qualify for pretrial release. Says she wasn't interviewed.
Yeah, we didn't interview Miss arguably.
Okay.
You wanna do?
I'll do bond or
Yes.
PPR. Okay, so, they haven't qualified you for pretrial release, so they haven't been able to interview you, so I'm gonna impose a bond or pretrial release. If you do qualify, then they'll release you pretrial release. It's important that you make sure that everyone's had to get in touch with you, you don't miss any appointments if you have any, don't get arrested for anything new, okay? So, I'll stay the bond at 1,000 or PTR and 100 or PTR in 2019 CT 1150 AE. You're arrested for driving while license suspended as a subsequent offender. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the PD in that case as well. I'll also impose the $500 bond or PTR. You may not drive without a valid driver's license. All right? All right, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be in recess until